Well, hello there, and a great big welcome to this week's I Did It in My Pyjamas show with me, Angela de Souza, and my book, I Did It in My Pyjamas. And so the way it works, very simply, grab a copy of the book if you have one and read along with me. If you don't, then buy one in the link below or above. I never remember where it is. Grab a cup of tea, get your jammies on, and just come and chill with me for a few minutes this Sunday evening while we just have a little flip through the book I Did It in My Pyjamas. So, how has your day been? How's your weekend been? Oh yes, of course, I can't hear you. We don't have two-way communication yet. Well, my weekend's been busy. I've been to London today, in Stroud yesterday. It's been all over the place, and that's what these grey lines are. Over here and here, tiredness. But it's been great. We've had a lot of fun as a family, and I hope you have too. So, tonight, the plan is to finish off the very first chapter. I did it without money. It doesn't take money to make money. And so we're going to do a bit more reading than usual. I'd love to hear your questions if you have any. Tonight will be the last in this series, so we will have a short break for a few weeks, and then we'll be back for season 2. Last week we discussed determination. And I must say, I didn't read much to you because there was a lot I had to say about that subject. It's a really important subject, being determined in your business. Tonight we're going to look at education, and education equally an important subject, but not in the way that you think. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about education, and then you'll see what I mean. Yes, education is important, but not the type of education that you might assume is important. I have a little formal education. Pregnant at 17 years old, I found my way in life without even a high school diploma. Fortunately, my first husband's step-grandparents were extremely wealthy and gave us a roof over our heads when we were first married. Days were long and boring. And although I attempted to use the time to complete my high school diploma, I struggled. I was not an academic. However, I loved to read, and I educated myself about all the subjects that interested me through reading. Since that point until today, I can say that I've invested in educating myself about the things that matter to me. I have learned about parenting, being a wife, being a Christian, being a bookkeeper, and being a businesswoman through surrounding myself with the right people and reading the right books. To this day, I still do not have any pieces of paper to confirm my education, but I can confidently say that I have done all I can to educate myself in my specific areas of interest. My point is not that you don't need formal education or a university degree to get ahead in business, but rather that we can allow education to mean so much more than what it truly means in this day and age. Chris Gardner offers words of wisdom in this area, saying, "If you don't take the necessary steps to make them happen, dreams are just mirages that mess with your head." Education is learning, edification, or an enlightening experience. Allow yourself to be educated by anything and everything so that you can be the best version of you possible. Your business will only grow as you grow. I'll say it again because it's really important. Your business will only grow as you grow. So invest all you can in being more and educating yourself with necessary knowledge. And so those are my views on education and how I've done it. And like I always say with the I Did It in My Pyjamas series, this is how I've done it. It's not a recipe. It doesn't mean you have to do it in the same way. You may have 2 or 3 degrees and good for you. I couldn't do it. It wasn't for me. But it might be exactly what you needed to do because we're all different. But for me, I think my biggest education has come from failure, and I refer to that over and over again. I learn the hard way, as my husband would say. I need to try things. And if you're that sort of learner, then you will fail a lot, and you will learn a lot. Perhaps you're not that sort of learner. Perhaps you can learn academically and then create a business model academically, put it into practice, and it works. And that's fantastic. Neither are right or wrong. How you educate yourself is entirely up to you, but the point is that it's essential as business owners that we educate ourselves, that we are growing. And one thing I've discovered amongst business owners that really can be a problem is that you get too busy to invest in yourself. I can almost hear the nods out there, right? You get so busy doing the bookkeeping, making the tea, doing the business, promoting the business, doing the marketing, doing the social media, getting caught up on Facebook, and all the other many things that is required of us as business owners. But the truth is, the best thing you can do is take a day off a week, or half a day a week at first. Take time out to educate yourself so that you grow. And as you grow, the business grows. And another thing that I've found is there's great joy in education. I love to learn. I love to discover things. And when I stop learning, I lose that joy. And business becomes very boring, perhaps. Maybe that's too strong a word. But it becomes very routine and mundane sometimes. And yet, when I stop and I just say, right, I'm going to shut down the computer and grab a book, or I'm going to go for a walk and hang out with a wise businesswoman that I can learn from, whatever the case may be, if I actually pause and allow myself to learn and grow and then come back to the business, I come back with fresh eyes. I come back educated and see things differently, and it's exciting again. So don't fall into the trap of thinking you don't have time. You don't have time for yourself. The worst thing you can possibly do in your business is say that. You need to just shut everything down and do whatever makes you happy, whatever fills you, whatever form of education you most enjoy. You need to do that. And then you need to go back to your business, and you need to do it regularly. You can't do it once a year. You might not make it then. And so I really want to encourage you tonight about that, in the area of education. Get back to that place where you're loving to learn, where you're enjoying growing your business and being expanded and being inspired. Get back to that. Right, enough said. I think you get the point. Point 6 is character. Without great character, you will never succeed. Character is your moral fiber, your nature, and your personal qualities. Poor character will lead to poor business, and on the flip side, excellent character will lead to excellent business. As D. Hock, founder and CEO of I don't even know how to say that. Anyway, something Visa International said, control is not leadership. Management is not leadership. Leadership is leadership. If you seek to lead, invest at least 50% of your time leading yourself. Your own purpose, ethics, principles, motivation, conduct. Wow. The word, you'll have to get the book to find out what the word was. But that's amazing, isn't it? And again, do we lead ourselves? Are we taking care of our integrity, of our moral fiber? Henry David Thoreau, an American author, poet, philosopher, abolitionist, naturalist, tax resistor, development critic, surveyor, and historian. Wow, what a title. Can you imagine having that mouthful? Anyway, he said, you cannot dream yourself into a character. You must hammer and forge yourself one. And that is so true, isn't it? To grow in character, to lead yourself, it can be very painful. Have you ever had that moment when your eyes have been opened and you suddenly realize that there's this horrible thing about you and you never realized it before? And once you see it, everybody else probably saw it. And you just feel really yucky inside. I have that a lot. But you know what? In those moments, even though I feel yucky inside, I think to myself, you know what? Great. That's another thing I can work on, and I can grow in character, and I can get better and better as a person. Abraham Lincoln said, character is like a tree, and reputation is like a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing. In a nutshell, character is something that you need and something that is acquired and developed intentionally. Sadly, none of us are born honest. None of us find it easy not to lie. We are all born liars. We're all born finding it easy to do the wrong thing. We have to learn how to do the right thing. Some have to learn more than others, but we all have to learn and intentionally grow and develop in character. Without good character, your business is likely to fail sooner or later. Maybe not at first, but things that are hidden, they'll always come out into the light. If we're doing something wrong, if we are cheating people or treating them poorly, it will come out in the light. And you know, sometimes I've certainly experienced this. You do make mistakes, and people think you're a bad person, and they say bad things about you. But if you just keep going and you keep developing your character and you do your best, people will quickly see that it was just a mistake that you made. It's not who you are. It's just a mistake. And, you know, I try to treat people in that way. I try my best when people make a mistake to put it in perspective and give them the benefit of the doubt and think, okay, they made a mistake. And not think that that's who they are and sum them up by their mistake. I know that there are people out there who have made that decision about me already. They saw my weakness, they saw one of my mistakes, and they made a decision that that's who I am as a person. And that's not fair. That's not very kind. Work consistently on developing your character. Allow adversity to sharpen who you are, and refuse to compromise your integrity for just a quick buck. Business owners with good character will earn loyalty and trust. You see, being authentic is one thing. We should be authentic. If we mess up, we admit to it. You know what? I blew it. I made a mistake, and I'm going to put it right as best I can. Okay? That's authentic. We need to do that. People will see that. Hiding our mistakes and trying to appear perfect, people will see right through that. And they'll know that something's not right. So don't feel like you have to put yourself out there as this perfect person who never messes up. Put yourself out there as a real person who is working very hard at becoming an even better person. And people will really be attracted to you then. They'll really want to do business with you because they feel like, wow, I can trust this person. They're not perfect, but I can trust them. One of my favorite movies is The Family Man with, his name's just escaped me. It was going to bother me now. What's his name? Okay, I'll come back to it in a bit. Tall guy. Family Man. And in the movie, there's this scene where the shop owner gives a school-age child change for a bottle of Coke or something. And so it was supposed to be $1, and the shop owner gave him back $9 in change when he only paid for the $2 bottle, or something like that. But anyway, the point of the story is that as the schoolboy walks out of the shop owner looks at another customer and says, wow, his integrity was worth $9. And it just, that phrase completely stuck with me, and I probably completely misquoted it, so you have to watch the movie now. And as soon as my husband comes back, I'll ask him the name of the person, because his face is right there. Anyway, so, and it's true, you know, we could sell ourselves for a small amount of money. We could shortchange ourselves and realize that our character is worth so much more. Right, time for another sip of tea. Can you tell I can't focus because I forgot the guy's name? Okay. 7, purpose. Why are you in business? Again, another name I can't pronounce. Please forgive me. You'll have to buy the book so you can actually read it better than I'm reading it to you. I think it is Punit Renjan, chairman of the board for Deloitte LLP, puts it this way. An organization's culture of purpose answers the critical question of who it is and why it exists. They have a culture of purpose beyond making a profit. An organization's culture of purpose answers the critical questions of who we are and why we exist through a set of carefully articulated core beliefs. A culture of purpose guides behavior, influences strategy, transcends leaders, and endures. That's amazing, isn't it? Does your business have a purpose? Are you leading with a purpose? So as you can see, your why is a very important question to answer. And if your why is purely for money, then it's not big enough. There's nothing wrong with being in business to make money. In fact, I would question why you were in business if you're not trying to make a profit. Of course, you're supposed to. But there's more to it than that. Why do you want to make money? Why do you get out of bed every day? Why do you do what you do? If the answers to these questions don't excite you, then change what you're doing. Richard Branson said, the most beautiful businesses fail. So if you're going to succeed, then it has to be, it doesn't say beautiful at all. I'm so sorry, Richard. I know you're watching. I'm so sorry. Let me re-quote you. Most businesses fail. There we go. So if you're going to succeed, it has to be about more than making money. And again, there's a fantastic blueprint on page 26 about how you can build a culture of purpose in your business. I'm not going to read it now because we're nearly out of time, but I'd like to move on to integrity. So Philip Brooks said, "A man who lives right and is right has more power in his silence than another has by his words." You can build a business without integrity. Many have. But you cannot sustain a business without integrity. At some point, a business owner with a lack of integrity will fall. Recently, I had the privilege of conducting business with a very well-known, very wealthy businessman. We worked very closely together on a sensitive project that attracted the attention of the international media. On a few occasions, we both found ourselves in difficult situations. Integrity is always revealed when the pressure is on, not in the easy times. Needless to say, I saw things in that businessman that shocked me. I couldn't believe the lack of integrity in him. Please understand, I'm not saying this from a judgmental position, as I too blatantly told a blatant lie to the press during one of those times. I really did. And I felt terribly guilty for doing so. The pressure was on, the press asked me a question, I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't tell the truth. I did not want that in the papers. I'm not proud of it, but it happened. So I wasn't judging this man. I was very new in dealing with the press and have since learned some very important lessons. Hopefully, if I find myself in the same situation once again, I would answer differently. Nevertheless, I very quickly learned who I could trust out of the group of 8 men that I was working with on this project. Some clearly had integrity and others clearly didn't. I wonder what they would say about what they saw in me. Integrity has always been one of my greatest desires, and I constantly work hard at becoming a woman of integrity. Some men and women in business sadly don't value or desire integrity and will do whatever it takes to make money, even if it involves dishonesty and unethically gaining it. And so, where do you rank yourself on this one? Have you ever considered integrity? Do you strive for integrity? Is it not something you've really given much thought to? I think the best thing to do is not to compare yourself to others. That's incredibly damaging. But just compare yourself to yourself. Where were you 6 months ago? Where were you a year ago? Are you growing in integrity? Are you growing in character? Doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. Doesn't matter how much character and integrity every other business person's got. It's about you and your journey. And the best thing to do is measure yourself against yourself. Make sure you're continually moving forward. So before I finish off with some tips for integrity, I'm going to find out the name of that actor. Okay, who's the name of the main actor in The Family Man? Nicolas Cage, that's it. I knew it would bother me all evening. Nicolas Cage. Okay, there we go. Whew, I can focus now. So we're going to wrap it up now. I'm right at the end of the very first chapter. If you've joined me every week, it's been great. It's been really fun doing this with you. And like I said, I'm going to take a short break for a few weeks and then we'll move on to chapter 2. I did it with children and I'm actually going to have my children with me. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So just to end off, you can have a read, but growing your business with integrity. Here are some tips to grow your business with integrity. Be reliable. Do what you say you're going to do. Simple. If you say you're going to do it, you do it. If it costs you, doesn't matter. You say you're going to do it, you do it. Be consistent in your ethos and standards. Like I said, we make mistakes, but be consistent. Decide what's important to you and stick to it. Be positive. It makes people feel good. Be kind. Treat people well. Sometimes there are some people that I don't want to be kind to. I just want to, but you know what? I've made a choice. That kindness is one of my core values. Being kind to people is important to me. I try my best to be kind, even when somebody has not paid their invoice for 3 months, and really, I should be taking them to court, but I always I want to be kind to people. Even if I'm saying to you, you are overdue, this invoice is due, but I'm not going to be mean or rude or threatening. I'm still going to do it with kindness. Making a sale. Sell with kindness. You don't have to be manipulative or controlling about it. You can sell. You can be an excellent salesperson, but you can still treat people fairly. And then the final one, obviously, be honest. Don't lie or cheat under any circumstances. And so those are a few tips. I'm sure you can add to the list your own ideas. And that concludes our very first chapter of I Did It in My Pyjamas. I would absolutely love your feedback. I'd love your comments on the show, and I'd love your feedback on the book. If you want to buy one, you can hop over to www.angeladesouza.com/books, and you'll find I Did It in My Pyjamas along with a few of my other books that I've also written, so have some fun there. As always, and I know we run a bit later than usual tonight, but I really wanted to finish the chapter. I'm going to feature one of our members, and tonight I'm going to feature the most lovely lady. She's absolutely adorable in every possible way. She's in our Southampton club, and the more I get to know her, the more I want to get to know her. And I'm just thinking, how can I find another reason to spend more time with her? Because she just is inspiring and positive, and she just brings out the best in you and helps you see the things that you're not seeing. And so tonight our featured member is the author of Manage Your Critic, and if you know her, it is the super awesome Cheryl Andrews. Can you see that on the screen? That's her lovely face. And so her book, Manage Your Critic, the subtitle is From Overwhelmed to Clarity in 7 Steps. And I'm really, really excited about getting stuck into this book. And the only reason that I feel confident recommending a book to you that I haven't yet read is because of the person. I got to know Cheryl, and you know what? I know that this book is going to be packed with life-changing things. I've already had my life changed after a few encounters with her, and I know that I'll be a different person after reading her book. So, where do you get it from? Cheryl, let me grab one of your many cards. Okay, here we go. So there's manageyourcritic.com, it's her website. Hop onto her website, and you can find her on the Women's Business Club page in our Facebook group. She's doing lots of live videos in there, so you can't miss her. Just look out for Cheryl Andrews and grab a copy of her book, Manage Your Critic. But buy one first, okay? First get I Did It in My Pyjamas. Anyway, that's me for tonight. It was lovely to spend Sunday evening with you, and I will see you again in a few weeks' time. Have a great week. Bye.